Imagine your morning alarm,
Yeah.
right? Goes off, you're maybe scrolling the news, pouring coffee, just starting your day, and then bam, the whole world outside just shatters.
Yeah.
And this wasn't like a distant boom. This was this continuous, just bone-shaking roar. Hundreds of things hitting civilian buildings.
Unrelenting.
For the people there, this moment, it reached a critical military point.
Yeah.
You know, a kind of saturation attack that just changes everything we thought we knew about air defense capability.
Absolutely.
We've really dug into the source material on this one. We want to bring you the strategic thinking behind it, the exclusive analysis, really, of maybe why this was planned and what Russia might have actually been testing.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to The Military Point, your ultimate source for sharp insights, analysis, and updates from the world of defense and modern warfare.
Great to be here.
Before we dive deeper, hey, tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? We'd love to know. And yeah, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more updates.
So that feeling you mentioned, being utterly overwhelmed, that's really the strategic core here, I think.
Okay.
Independent monitors, people watching this closely, they're calling it one of the heaviest barrages since the full-scale war started. We are looking at a fundamentally new scale here, something different in offensive coordination.
Okay, let's unpack that scale.
Yeah.
Because the timing alone, it tells a story, doesn't it? President Zelensky said the attack lasted over 12 hours.
12 hours, yeah.
Just think about that, half a day. Constant, unrelenting threat. It's not just what got hit, but how did they possibly sustain that level of intensity for so long? That's the question.
And if you look past just the duration, it's the pairing of the weapons. That's what seems to reveal this maybe new operational doctrine.
Right.
We're talking nearly 500 strike drones. 500, plus more than 40 high-end missiles on top of that.
Wow.
So this isn't just about, blowing things up. It's about forcing the air defenses into an impossible situation, a real dilemma.
Okay, this is where the tech specs get really, really important, I think.
Yeah.
The list Zelensky mentioned, it included the Kinzhal missiles.
Mm-hmm, the Kinzhals.
Now, for anyone not tracking missile tech daily, Kinzhal is a huge deal. It's a very high-profile weapon.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is the strategy behind pairing that with hundreds of, well, let's be honest, cheap Shahed drones?
It's what military strategists call a saturation tactic. Simple concept, brutal execution.
Okay.
The Kinzhal, it's significant because it's hypersonic, it's fast, and it's highly maneuverable. So it's extremely difficult to intercept. You need your best interceptors for that, your Patriots, your SAM-PT systems, very valuable assets.
Right. Top-tier stuff.
Exactly. And the Shaheds, the Iranian-supplied ones, they're the opposite. Slow, noisy, relatively cheap. Easy targets, comparatively.
So wait, are you saying they're basically using 500 cheap drones as bait? As distractions?
Precisely. That seems to be the idea. The drones go in first, swarms of them. They light up the sky, force the air defense radars and operators to track them, to engage them. And that forces the defenders to use up their interceptors, maybe the cheaper mid-range ones first, or it just flat out overwhelms the operators. Too many targets, too little time.
So while the defenses are busy, swatting flies, basically.
Right. While they're dealing with those 500 incoming drones, that creates the window. That's the gap they need for the 40 or so Kinzhals and cruise missiles, the really dangerous ones, to slip through.
Ah, okay. To get to the high-value targets.
Exactly. And pulling that off requires immense logistical planning and coordination. It's why that sheer volume, that number 500 plus 40 is just, it's insane. You have to see that inventory.
That context, yeah, it changes everything. It means the goal wasn't just hitting buildings. It was about degrading the system.
Yeah.
Breaking the air defense shield itself.
System degradation, that's the term.
Okay, now, let's pivot. Because when those systems were degraded or overwhelmed, the immediate reality, the human cost, is just staggering.
It is.
Those early reports said 3 deaths. They quickly climbed. At least 4 people confirmed killed now. And what just hits you in the gut, among them, a 12-year-old girl.
Just awful. And 14 others injured, with 1 person reportedly in serious condition. When you look at the map, the reports from Timur Kachenko, the military administration head, it confirms this terrifying spread.
Yeah.
More than 15 locations damaged across 5 huge districts in Kyiv. Darnitsky, Sviatoshinsky, Slomiansky, Holosivsky, and Dniprovsky. They hit everywhere.
It just sounds like pure chaos. The reports, the first-person accounts, they talk about direct drone hits on multi-story apartment buildings.
Residential buildings.
Witnesses talk about huge car fires raging in the courtyards.
Yeah.
You know, the places where families live, where kids play. This wasn't like surgical strikes on military bases.
No, this felt different. Maximum chaos seemingly aimed at civilian areas.
Which, of course, forces a political reaction.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah.
And Andrei Yermak, head of the presidential office, he was very clear. He said, quote, "Once again, it is a war against civilians." That's the message they believe Russia is sending.
And the people on the ground. Pure survival mode.
Absolutely. Fleeing down into the metro stations, those deep subway tunnels becoming underground shelters, just hoping the concrete holds while the world above is exploding.
It's hard to even wrap your head around that level of fear. 12 hours. Sitting underground. Listening to that. And what really stood out to me from the reporting was how quickly that, strategic chaos translated into these deep personal traumas, things that last.
It really did. There was a reporter, Malcolm Webb, from Al Jazeera, who captured it powerfully. He talked about seeing a school teacher just walking through the debris afterwards.
Yeah.
She wasn't looking for, belongings or anything. She was looking to see if one of her students, if they were among the casualties.
Oh, man.
And his takeaway, he said, there'll be an empty desk in a classroom this morning.
Yeah.
That
So-
says it all, doesn't it? Yeah.
It really does. An empty desk. And the kids who survived, they're living this too. Webb shared another story, a mother whose 12-year-old son borrowed her phone,
Yeah, I saw that.
just desperately trying to find out if his friend, who lived nearby, if he'd been killed. That's their reality now, checking if your friend survived the night.
That's the new normal for these children. Daily survival checks. And, we have to be careful not to just focus solely on Kyiv, as devastating as it was.
Right. Good point.
The sheer scale of this attack meant it was happening elsewhere, too, simultaneously. We saw reports of really intense strikes down in the southeast, in the Zaporizhia region.
Okay.
The governor there reported residential buildings hit, infrastructure damage, at least 4 more people wounded there, too. So this pressure, it was nationwide.
A coordinated nationwide assault, which, unsurprisingly, had immediate international ripples.
Big ones.
These attacks didn't just rattle Kyiv. They shook NATO. Literally. The proximity of this barrage, it forced a very rapid, very physical response from neighboring countries.
That's a critical point. The ripple effect. Poland, right next door, immediately closed airspace near 2 of its southeastern cities.
Wow, closed airspace.
Yeah, think about that. An attack inside Ukraine forces a neighboring NATO country to scramble its own air force, and allied jets, too, just in response.
It just shows how close this is getting to NATO territory. Physically close.
And it raises that really uncomfortable question, doesn't it? What happens if one of those 500 drones, or maybe a missile part, accidentally drifts just a little too far west next time?
Exactly. It's not theoretical anymore. So the global reaction wasn't just, statements of condemnation. It was an actual armed response from a neighbor. And Ukraine's leadership, they are absolutely seizing this moment.
Oh, yeah. They're demanding an equally aggressive counterattack, but politically and economically.
Not just words this time.
No, decisive action. Zelensky called the strikes brutal. He said Moscow deserves only the harshest pressure, demanded a strong reaction from the U.S., Europe, the G7, the G20, everyone.
He also vowed pretty clearly, we will continue to strike back, which signals, further escalation is likely.
Definitely. But maybe the most insightful demands came from the foreign minister, Andrei Sybiha, and from Yermak again. They connected the violence directly to money, to the economic livers.
How so?
Well, Sybiha called for maximizing the cost of further escalation for Russia, make it too expensive to keep doing this.
Right.
And Yermak, he linked these attacks on civilians directly to the funding. He demanded the West's economic blows against Russia must also be stronger, cut off the money supply.
Okay, so this is the core strategy then. Forced diplomacy by basically starving the war machine financially.
That seems to be the push. If Russia is funding these massive saturation attacks, 500 drones plus Kinzhals over 12 hours, if they're funding that with, say, ongoing energy revenues or other trade,
Yeah.
then the goal isn't just tweaking existing sanctions. The demand is to sever that economic lifeline, the one that pays for this incredible scale of destruction, make it logistically, financially impossible for Russia to sustain these 12-hour barrages.
So they're trying to make the price tag for launching, 540 munitions simultaneously? Just unbearable.
Correct. The thinking seems to be that hitting them hard in the wallet through really tough economic measures might be the only way to stop these massive sustained attacks from just becoming the new baseline, the new normal.
Which leads us to the big questions, doesn't it? This scale, we saw 500 drones, the Kinzhals, 12 hours straight. What happens if this does become the new normal? This unprecedented saturation warfare, constantly testing defenses everywhere.
It's a terrifying prospect.
And given this new scale, what will the G7 actually do? What specific, maybe extreme economic measures are even left on the table? Are we talking targeting totally new sectors, or maybe, I don't know, a complete cutoff of certain financial pathways?
That is the pivotal question now, I think. That's what the next few months could hinge on.
You've been listening to The Military Point. Stay sharp, stay informed, and we'll catch you next time.